Hey Changemakers, this is Charlie Gilkey from Productive Flourishing, and today we're going to talk about Maven, Connectors, and Salespeople, or which of these are your natural strength. Is it ideas, is it people, or is it persuasion? So, Pam Slim has written a post about this way back in August of 2010. I've been meaning to write something for a long time about this, and apparently it's not going to come out by writing, so I decided to record a video about this. So it's going to be rough. We're going to roll, and I'm going to get a text message while I give this. So, in the book, The Tipping Point, Malcolm Gladwell talked about 3 different archetypes of people. He talked about mavens, connectors, and salespeople. Mavens are your information and idea specialists. These are the people who you ask whenever you want to know something about anything. They're always the people to know. Okay? Connectors are your people specialists. These are the people who every time you ask a question, a Rolodex starts flipping in the back of their mind saying, who do I know that knows this? Who do I know that's done this? Who do I know that I need to connect you with? They love connecting you with people. They're all about the people. The last archetype is salespeople. And these are your really persuasive people. These are the type of people who can borrow your watch and then sell it back to you. They just have this uncanny ability to get you to buy into whatever they're selling, whether it's an idea, whether it's a plan, whether it's a product, it doesn't matter. Now, the thing about salespeople, or that title, is people have a lot of stuck around sales. There are a lot of salespeople out there who are really persuasive, who can always just get people on their team and always, tell that wonderful story, but they don't resonate with the sales title. So sometimes you'll hear me talk about the persuaders rather than salespeople, so that we open up that category and people can ask, what am I naturally good at? And start playing from that. Now, the role or the goal in business or life is to really play to your strengths, right? Be you to the fullest and play with the deck of cards that you got. Now, the thing about it is, we all have a primary attribute, and this is where I talk about it a little bit different than Pam does and a little bit different than Malcolm Gladwell does, right? After using this model for a few years, I noticed that a lot of people, they'll say, well, I'm kind of a maven, but I'm kind of a salesperson. Okay, I think when you get down to the bottom of it, you've got a primary attribute, like you might be a maven, but then you have this secondary one, like a salesperson or connector, that's really, really important because that tells you how to do something, okay? That tells you, all right, I'm going to be really interested in this idea, right? So you're a maven. I'm going to be really interested in that. But I'm really doing it to galvanize people and to make things happen with people, not necessarily sales. If that's the way that you think, you're a maven connector. So again, let's put them up on the board. You've got a maven, you've got a connector, and you've got salespeople or persuaders. Okay, so this is information and ideas. This is people. And this is persuasion. Now, when you add the secondary to it, you actually end up with 6 different categories, right? So you got maven connectors, maven salesperson, connectors mavens, connector salesperson, salesperson maven, salesperson connectors. Okay? Now, by the way, you can probably tell that I am indeed a maven. I'm a maven connector, in case you're curious, very strongly. Well, I think I'm strongly balanced. Pam always tells me that I'm not very strongly balanced, but there we go. What's really fascinating about this is the way in which these personality types interact with each other. Okay? Remember, you're not in a vacuum. You're always a part of a broader community and a broader ecology. And this is where things get really exciting, and this is where the magic happens, right? Because if you're a maven, you know that you need to ally yourself with other connectors because they're going to connect you with the people world. And you need to ally yourself with salespeople because they can take whatever it is you do and hone it and make it more approachable, right? We mavens have an incredible problem of making our ideas sticky, making them like really easy to understand, easy to grab onto. We like to talk about frameworks and processes and systems and all that type of stuff, which we get really fascinated about. And we talk to other mavens about, and we have like these 2.5 hour long conversations about these things. But that drives everyone else crazy. Okay? Same with connectors, right? If you're a connector, you need to ally yourself with mavens, and you need to ally yourself with salespeople. The mavens will take what you're doing and add depth and rigor and substance to it. So, if you're launching a product, it's great to have mavens on your side because they're going to be like, oh, maybe you should structure it this way. Maybe this will be the best way to get users, right? They're very in tune with how to do that, even if they don't want to come up with the ideas themselves, right? Salespeople are going to be able to help you use your natural gift of connecting with people in a way that makes your message or what you're doing easy to spread. Likewise, if you're a salesperson, ally yourself with mavens for the rigor, for the depth, and ally yourself for the connectors so that you can really learn how to make change happen through people. Because that's really what this is about, right? Mavens make change happen through information and ideas. Well, your builders, your engineers, your process folks, your system folks, right? It's all about the ideas and the information. Connectors make change happen through people. They galvanize people. They're natural hubs, and that's just the way that they're oriented to the world. Salespeople make change happen through persuasion. Alrighty? Now, to keep things short, I'll talk at another time about the different dimensions of what happens if you're the difference between a Maven connector and a Maven salesperson, and so on and so forth. But I want to keep this one fairly brief to get the idea out there and to introduce this idea that when you play with your natural strength or you play in your natural genius zone, you're going to have far better results. If you're naturally a salesperson, don't try to be a Maven. You can't do it. If you're naturally a connector, don't try to be a salesperson. You can't do it. You can learn how to mimic it, right? You can learn the skills of that domain, but you can't truly be that person, right? You can think of people like, don't want to call out names. I'll pick on Chris Gilbo, right? I love Chris. Chris is a master storyteller. He's a master persuader, right? He's a salesperson at his heart, right? We can talk about his secondary later on, but if you're Chris, you wake up in the world with a certain perspective, right? And that's just how you do things. It's far different than mine, right? I wake up in the morning and I'm thinking about ideas and processes and how we're going to make stuff happen, and that's really what I'm excited about. I really don't want to sell stuff. Well, actually, I love selling stuff. I don't want to be out there marketing and selling stuff all the time. Once I figure out a problem, I love helping people with it, and that comes through sales. But it's not what I wake up in the morning to do. I don't really get particularly jazzed by it. Get jazzed by the solution and the change that happens. Again, Maven connector. Pam Slim is a classic connector Maven, right? She's got a huge body of people. We all love Pam to death. And she's really uber smart. She's got all these models and frameworks and things like that. But when you get down to her core, her heart is so powerfully strongly connected to people that it's just clear that she's a connector. If you read her post, she gives some other people to think about. So it's just a really useful way to figure out how you should orient yourself to the world. The idea here, again, I want to nail it home. Be you and play with this strength, or play with your genius zone. Play with, if you're a Maven, be a Maven. If you're a connector, be a connector. And if you're a salesperson, be a salesperson all the way. Thanks. I hope this helps, and have a great day.